Oglala Lakota chef Sean Sherman is on a journey to decolonize food. Owamni, a Minneapolis restaurant, only serves food made with indigenous ingredients. You won't find wheat, cane sugar, or dairy on the menu. You will find elk, turkey, bison, and other indigenous protein sources. It's been booked solid every evening since it opened 3 years ago.
Restaurants are kind of mildly controlled chaos at best. And so, we've had a wonderful staff. We've had so many staff members that have been with us from the very beginning. We just have a staff that really believes in the food that we do and the work that we do. It's great to see so many people have come through the restaurant and just the impact that the restaurant itself is having on people out there. And, we change constantly as far as the menu goes because we do very seasonal. We try to change with the solstice and equinoxes. So there's 4 very distinct seasons to work around. And the biggest piece is just prioritizing purchasing from the indigenous producers and just really moving a lot of food through that whole restaurant. And now that the restaurant's officially part of the nonprofit, it's really set up just to do exactly that. It's there to create jobs, it's there to create skills, it's there to move food product and to really boost the economy towards indigenous producers and create a demand, and also just being a voice where people can come and experience what it's like to sit in a modern health-focused indigenous restaurant.
NATIFS is Sherman's nonprofit, North American Traditional Indigenous Food Systems. It's located at the Midtown Global Market on Lake Street.
We kind of were born during the pandemic. We started off just doing a lot of food relief in the early days, and we were doing up to 10,000 meals a week, sending food to 9 out of 11 tribes across Minnesota. And it was a massive effort in the middle of the pandemic when there was still so much chaos around that whole situation. And then we started building out what we have now, which is this model, which is the food lab market, where we have all this beautiful product. And then we have the education studio, where we're just doing lots of videos. So if you go to the website at natifs.org, then you can find a lot of cooking videos and other videos that we're just going to continuously put out there. And the purpose of that was just trying to steward as much indigenous perspective and knowledge and education as possible through videos, which you can share so easily. And then we have the production kitchens, which are making tons of products that we use not only at the restaurant, but we sell there online. And, it's a fun model, and we're getting ready to move that model into Bozeman, Montana this year. And eventually we'll have a restaurant out there too, trying to tap into some of the tourism dollars out there to make those tourism dollars kind of work towards a lot of the projects that we have going on, because there is a lot of money that flows around some of those tourist spaces, and there's no reason not to have Native American focused restaurants out there. And then we're prepared to move into other places, like Anchorage is kind of a next step after Bozeman. And we're also looking at expanding into doing institutional food support, so moving into just knowing what schools and hospitals utilize, which are kind of ready-made foods from larger food box trucks, and we want to be able to start offering options, so people have options to have healthy indigenous foods out there. And so we're going to start that model this year and just kind of see where that brings us. But I see a lot of need out there for food manufacturing, especially in tribal communities, and just being able to create and normalize having a lot of healthy native food options, especially in the reservations and school systems.
Sherman's work extends far beyond food. He's a cultural educator and ambassador.
I think it's surprising how little people know about the true history of what happened to indigenous peoples in America, which has become part of my job, because I do a lot of these big talks and I just talk about history and historical facts that happened. And most adults don't know the history of the United States because we're not taught history if we go to school in the United States. So I think it's really important for us to really start to embrace some of these painful histories that happened to us, because it's part of the healing process to be able to name what happened and why things are the way they are. And I know there's a lot of discomfort with that notion, and there's a lot of obviously political divide, and some states are completely going the other direction and erasing Native and Black histories even further. And so I just think that that's really surprising, that there's that sentiment to not want to know anything, not to want to know or learn facts and just be happy with the ignorance, And so it's surprising to me that that's a thing out there today. And I just feel like, we're doing the best we can to be role models, to really showcase how we can move forward and what we can do with Native foods. And I think that there's so much room out there in the world to do more Native foods, not just here in America, but basically anywhere Indigenous peoples are. anywhere that colonization and colonialism has deeply affected those communities.
What does the future hold for Natives?
I'm looking forward to possibly helping more restaurant concepts open, and just sharing the experiences that we've had creating a lot of these food businesses and how important food is. And if we really center together on food, how much change we could make, not only for ourselves right now and the way we eat and the health that we are facing, but also just for our next generations. You know, we just want our Native kids out there to have access to these foods. You know, we want them to go out, and if they're trying to decide if they want Chinese or pizza or Native American, like, we just want that to be on the list for the future.
For ICT from the homeland of the Dakota Oyate, I'm Shirley Snavy.